Hello and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Tonight we are joined by Bethany Frost. Hi, Bethany. How are you this evening?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Oh, I'm kicking. I am so tired today. I rearranged some things and furniture and stuff like that, trying to make space and redoing. Trust me, it'd take me so long to let's just roll this around that it was water damage over the summer.
Oh
So for our
no.
base, yes. So, and that's where we slept. So now we're upstairs. But anyways, it was just a lot of work. So I'm like feeling it. You know how when you move furniture all day.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now, Bethany, you've been with us before, right?
Yes, this is my third time, I think, on your show.
Oh, third time. Wow. Third time's a charm, right? So, what have you been up to since you've been here last?
I have a new book out, and I've been to two more signings, I believe,
Ooh,
since the last time we talked.
right. Well, now update me on the signings.
I had one at the beginning, the first weekend of the month, so that was Flirty in Tennessee. That was more, it was like a takeover signing. The people who put it on were not the original people that scheduled it, and it was like a whole big thing. So it happened in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and of course, it happened during their car show week.
Mm.
I use the term car show really liberally because there's a bunch of those like little rice rocket cars, not like the muscle cars, which kind of made me sad. I wanted to see muscle cars, so I was sad.
I feel ya. I feel ya. And so, what was the second event?
So the second event was the weekend after, like the very next weekend after, and it was called Bad Con, and it was a brand new Comic Con out in Pleasant Valley, Missouri. It was a very small Comic Con. It was fun. It didn't get a lot of traffic, but it was, like I said, it's brand new. This was their first year doing it, their first time. The people who put it on were all new to putting on a Comic Con, so it went fairly smoothly for how new it was.
Nice. Well, sometimes those take a little while to get, you know what I mean, to really get the feet underneath them. I know Laura went to an event, Imaginarium, I think that's what it's called.
Hmm.
And I know the year I went, which was years and years and years ago, it wasn't as, but Laura went I think this year she went and it was packed. So sometimes it takes a little bit to get under, you know what I mean, to really get their feet rolling in it.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that's
it
nice.
was good for a brand new event, so, I mean,
Well,
could have
yeah,
been
well,
worse.
that's not bad then. Did you have some track through through your section? Did you sell
Um,
some books? That's what we want to know. Did
I
you get some
saw
books?
I did sell a couple of books, which compared to, like, the comic book creator to my left and then the book ladies across the way from me, I think I did more than they did. I only sold
Mm.
3. Like I said, it was very slow. I was also right in front of all of their celebrities, so I feel like a
Mm.
lot of the traffic, like, kinda weren't paying attention to me because they were looking up at the celebrities, but it was fun.
Ah,
I enjoyed it.
yeah. We did a Comic-Con once. Well, we weren't at the Comic-Con, we were across of it. It's when we were in Baltimore, and we were an outside event around, like, the pier, and I found out that the Comic-Con was the next door, and there was a guy, Paul, and I can't remember his last name. He played the magician. He only did 1 season on Sci-Fi, and I forget what the title of it is called. It's all the books. You never when you're looking for a title, you can never get it.
I hear that.
Yeah, so anyways, I actually shut up my booth and went over to see him, and when I told him that I left everything to come see him, he actually came out around and hugged us and took pictures with us. So and now I can't even remember his name. Paul Blackthorne. There it is. Just hit me. Paul Blackthorne. And oh geez, what was it's a big series, the books, and I have the books. Oh my gosh, I could just, you know what I mean?
Yep, I hear you.
um anyways, we went and seen him and I really like the Comic Cons. They're so entertaining and you just get now do you have more planned for the to the end of this year?
Yeah, so second weekend of November is I have an event called Lit and Libations, and it's in Pleasant Valley, Missouri. So it's actually at the same convention, like the same place that the Bad Con was at.
Mhm.
So that's fun. That's on November
Ah,
9th. So
and
I'm
I
like, well, at
just
least
thought
I
it
know where I'm going.
oh, nice. Well, I just thought of it, The Dresden Files. That's who,
Okay.
Paul Blackthorne is. Did you
Okay.
ever watch it?
I did not.
Oh, man. Well, they only had one you ever read the books?
Nope.
Oh, girl.
No,
You're
my
breaking
reading
my
my
heart.
reading is very low in the past.
Oh, I feel ya. I'm more of an Audible girl anymore because I can do stuff. I
Yeah,
can
I just
just
don't feel like all the Audible apps I have besides like if I were to buy an Audible,
mhm.
you only get to listen to like so many episodes and then you have to pay for it. And all of
Yeah.
a sudden like paying for the episodes, the book costs you like $50.
Yeah, I get, a token a month. And so I usually save up. Like, so what I do is I'll go back and revisit the ones where I have these huge series. Like every holiday, I go back to Harry Potter. I don't know. Don't ask me. It's like my seasonal regime. You know what I
Harry
mean? I
Potter is
go,
the best though. You
it.
have
Oh
to be
my
careful.
god! Right? And the books are so much more detailed than the movies. I can just see them in my head. And so I'll listen to all those, and then right now I'm listening to the Sookie Stackhouse series again. And then after I've gathered up some credits, then I'll go buy some more new books.
Hey, that works though.
It does, and then I'm able to get the whole series from somebody. I have tons. I absolutely love. But if I love the book, I'll have you in paperback and hardback, and I'll
Mhm.
have the Kindle version. I get them all, and
Yeah.
also the my other tablet. I can't remember what names are right on the loot of my head.
My favorite is
So
like I get like, the free books from like the Kindle Stuff Your Kindle Days or whatever. And
yes.
I'll read a book and I'll be like, "Oh my god, I love this." So then I have to buy the trophy. So I have to get the
Ah,
paperback trophy.
yes. I
And then
just
it
love the
just sits on my
deals.
bookshelf.
Yeah, and if it's women empowered books, I'm like a sucker. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like right there. If they're action packed and women empowerment, I'm like, I have to have it. And then I
Mhm.
have to have all of them. I'm really got a problem.
Hey, you like what you like.
I know. So, um, you have a group on Facebook.
I do.
I and it is titled the witch. What is it again? The witches.
I
Is it
have
just the?
I have
Go ahead.
Bethany's Witches, which is my
There
private
it
group,
is.
and then I
Hmm.
have author of the Five Witches series, which is my page.
Okay.
But
Now, from
the group is one of those private groups, so you have to like fill out a thing to come in, and I pretty much approve everybody. So
nice. Now, now I wrote down some stuff here. Now, isn't that where you sort of released the ceramic chemistry this time?
yeah, so we did a release party, which like anything, it has its hiccups. But yes, we did a
Oh,
release
yeah.
party in that group. So if you were in the group or are in the group. I had a bunch of authors come and talk about their book for my release day. So they did games and all this other stuff, and you could win some of their books. And a couple of authors, I think, also gifted my new book to people too as games. So
Oh,
yeah, it was really fun.
nice.
Once we got the kinks out and we got everybody on there.
It's funny that you say kinks out, and we're talking about ceramic chemistry.
Yes, it's a kinky book. It's probably my most kinky book currently.
Yeah, but it also has an underlining kind of like a mystery to it as
Yeah,
well. So it's
yeah.
got some steam, but it has the mystery, which I love. I love that side story stuff, not where it's not just the friction between the two characters. There's an actual, you know what I mean, an actual
Mhm.
storyline as
Yeah.
well. And you do really great with that kind of stuff.
I like books that have like I love steam, don't get me wrong. I love smut.
Mhm.
I love all the fun scenes and I will reread them all the time, but I like the story aspect of
Yes.
books. I
Yes,
like
but this
knowing what's happening. I want
yeah,
the
and
smut to be like bonus and
mhm.
not just the whole book to just be smut.
Yeah, it's like the cherry on the top.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like they fight and they get along and they have this friction and they're trying to figure stuff out, but then there's these moments are like Yeah. You know what I mean? Those moments where you rewind the ebook or you go back a couple of pages so you can reread it again.
Yeah, I'm like, "Did I read that right? I don't know if I just read that right."
Right. Right. I love those moments. Now, let's see. Now, so how long has it taken you to write this particular book?
So
Um,
this book is a weird book. It started off as it was supposed to be a novella, like short
mhm.
story. Oh,
Bless you.
sorry.
Bless you.
It started off as like a short story novella that was supposed to go into an anthology. Originally, it was based on like Disney villains. So the villain I had chosen was Maleficent.
Ah, yes, we talked about this
Yeah.
last time. Yeah.
So it ended up being a part of an anthology for Flirting Kansas City's 2024, I believe it
Okay.
was, 2024 anthology. And it was really only a few chapters. It kind of ended um, about like 6 chapters into the actual book now. And after I had put it in that book, I was like, and I had ended it with like, the rest of the book will be out the end of this year or whatever. Because I was like, I like the story. It's really cute. It's really fun. But there's not like a story to it, but it had so much
Mm,
potential for a story.
mhm,
So I don't know, driving home one day, um, my hour drive home from somewhere, I can't even remember where it was, but I was driving home and like that's when I do a lot of my story thinking, like listening to
mhm.
music and just driving in the middle of nowhere. And I just came up with like, oh, this could be the story. Like, why would anybody find like a pottery factory interesting? Because they're not, but they
Mhm.
could be. I've been to many like glass blowing factories and pottery factories, and they're really fun. But that if you like that kind of thing, so
Mhm.
I needed something to be going on with this book to make it more exciting besides just the smut. And then
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we could make this like a whole mystery, like,
Mhm.
can you figure it out kind of thing. And I'm not very it's the first mystery I've actually written. I'm not very good at mysteries. I
Oh,
think I did pretty good with it though. I feel like I did it pretty well.
knowing you, Bethany, I bet you it's gonna be a hit, and I bet you're gonna get more of a call for it.
It was fun. I had a couple of my ARC readers had reached out and gave me like some feedback, and one of my ARC readers, she was so sweet. She was like, I figured out the first mystery like really easy, and I was like, yes, you were
Mhm.
supposed to. Like the one of the mysteries you were like you should have known. Like if you didn't catch that, you were not paying attention. But the second part of that mystery was the part that I was
Ah,
like, I want you to try to have like I want you to think you know who it is, but maybe you don't know who it is. So you get
yeah.
like aha moment. And so she
I
was like,
like those.
yeah, she said she's like, I think I figured it out, but I'm not sure. So I was like, that's exactly what I wanted. I wanted you to not be sure if you figured it
Mhm.
out or not.
Right. I get that. Now, you said that you're inspired when you were driving along. Do you normally get that way, listening to your other stuff, and then all along your stories will hit you, or is it just in this incident that it worked for you?
I've done it a couple of times. So like my Reaper books, I've done that.
Mhm.
When I was driving from New York back to Kansas, that's a very long drive.
Mhm.
And I was by myself and I was trying to figure out one part of the story that I couldn't like I was stuck on. Like I had A and C, but I was missing B. And so I usually put on whatever music's on. I'm an elder emo child, so I like my emo music. Um,
Mhm.
and or if like I'm in a band mood, like a specific band, I'll just like, put on my Spotify and just play that band's music. And I use the time because I've done that trip so much that I don't like I just autopilot basically, so I don't have
Right.
to completely, you know, look at my surroundings to know where I'm going.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just kind of like think through things. And then if that doesn't work, I have very like vivid dreams when I sleep. So I'll
Mm.
like dream it out as like a movie in my head.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be like, all right, so how do I want this movie to go?
I've
Like,
only ever had the movie thing in the dream happen to me once. and that was
That
with my
is my
sci-fi series. Yeah.
yeah,
And
mine all the
then
time.
do you? I only ever had it once, and it was such a vivid. I got 2 books out of it. It should be 3, but we won't go there. Anyways, but my biggest place where I like to think is, Laura says, "I have vivid dreams all the time, weird stuff." All right, Laura, you need to really give me some details, and we might have a couple more books. Um, but my biggest thing is in the shower.
Oh,
You know
yeah,
what I
see,
mean?
I guess I'm the weirdo. I don't think well in the shower. I try. I
Really?
try to think in the shower, but nope, nothing happens.
The thing about it in the shower, it kinda sucks because you don't have anything to write this crap down, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah,
in the
well, and when I do,
shower.
like, my dreams, like, I get up and, my phone's usually right
Mhm.
next to my bed, so I just open, like, the notes
Yes.
app and I, like, write it down really quick or, like, write something down really quick, like, Spark Note version it. So then when I
Yeah.
get up
I'll start, like, versing storylines to myself. I mean, out where I'm actually talking to myself. I sound like I'm lost my stuff in the shower, but I'm talking to myself, doing, like, conversing or with characters, and that's
mhm.
when I'll have then I have to hurry up and get out of the shower so that I can go write it down. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
have
do like
now
I do like that talk to text thing. So if I'm, like,
yeah.
when I'm driving and something hits me,
Mhm.
which is nice, like, on
Yes.
my steering wheel, I can hit the little button and then I can be like, "Talk to text," and I can just talk it.
Yeah,
It's not
yeah, and
perfect, but it works.
right, it gives you enough. It's like a touch base. Like, if I write notes down, like, on something like, while we're talking, I've written some stuff down that you've just said to me so I can bring it back up, which is what I do, and that gives me more questions. So if I've touched it, if I've written it down, I memorize it. So it's just enough. It doesn't have to be the entire sentence. It's just enough for a point that I can go back to. And speaking of that point factor, you mentioned the Reaper cover, and now we talked about that in one of our podcasts with you as before. And
Mhm.
the one thing I found interesting that it points to me because it also gives a reference to ceramic chemistry is that you do a multi cover. And for those who haven't heard you before on the podcast, but please, if you haven't, guys, go and look her up. You can see it on Podbean here, or you can go to my site, or you can go on YouTube. Just look for She Shed Studios and check out the last podcast as well. But could you remind our listeners to why you do the multi covers?
So, ceramic chemistry is the first one that has 2 completely separate covers for the same exact book. Um,
Hmm.
lately, and by lately I mean in the last, like, 8-10 months, readers have been more into those discrete covers if they're doing paperback, because they don't want people to know what they're reading. I'm all
Hmm.
about the cute little sexy covers personally, but I also understand that that's something that people will not buy just because they're like, I want to read the book, but I don't want this cover. So I tried something new with ceramic chemistry. Reaper has a very discreet cover, and it will stay that way. It's not changing because I love that cover. Um,
Hmm.
but ceramic chemistry
Hmm.
has 2 covers, and I found a way to make it work on Amazon. So both the Kindle and the I call it the sexy cover, the people cover for ceramic
Hmm.
chemistry. Um,
Hmm.
you can get that, and it's just ceramic chemistry, and the Kindle cover is the people cover. But if you want the discrete cover for your paperback, when you search ceramic chemistry on Amazon, there's another one that says ceramic chemistry discrete.
Hmm.
It's the same exact book. It's just different cover. And I figured out on Amazon, I can do it by making it part of a series. It's not actually a series, it's just the 2
Hmm.
covers. So
Yeah,
there's ceramic chemistry and then ceramic
yeah,
chemistry discrete.
yeah,
Same
we
exact
talked about that. Yeah, we talked about that exactly too, about you making it into the series. I think that's a cool idea.
yeah. So it worked out because ceramic chemistry will be a standalone. There will be no books after it. That
Right.
is in that world. But I needed a way that people could choose. Do they want the paperback with the people or do they want the paperback discrete cover? And
Hmm.
besides buying it from me, also making it like a hassle because then I have to go back and flop it on Amazon
Yeah.
and wait for them to approve it and then order the copies and then flip it back. I was like, there's got to be a way I can do both at the same time. So yeah, there's ceramic chemistry and then ceramic chemistry discrete. It's the exact same interior book, even like
Hmm.
the page, like the formatting, exactly the same. The only difference is the cover.
Right. Well, I'm on Amazon right now looking at the book covers because I always have them up. If you go there, guys, if you go on Amazon, if that's where you're getting it from the Kindle edition, and you can scroll down and you'll see related to this series, and it'll tell you right there, ceramic chemistry discrete. So if you have any issues, if you just put in chemistry by Bethany Frost, you will find it. That's what I did.
It comes up real easy right now.
Yeah, it does. Well, you know what? I like both covers.
I do too.
Um, yeah, I'm not opposed to the one with a little bit of heat. It doesn't seem like it's crossing any real lines, but I can understand if you have a commute time, you really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be
Well,
yeah.
my cover designer Lauren is fantastic, and I literally just be like, here's my new book. This is what I kind of looking for in the cover, and then she does her magic and figures it out. And when she sent me the people cover, I was like, that is spot on, exactly what I wanted. And I
Mhm.
was like, but I do want to do a discreet cover like we did with Reaper, and she pulled that one out. She designed it all by herself, and I was like, magic. She's magic.
Right. So, since we're talking about ceramic chemistry, can you give us a little bit of details about the book?
Yeah, so the book is based on Madeline Bain, who is one of the chemists at Green Dragon Pottery Studio. People don't think of chemists when they think of pottery. Her job is to find a more durable, quicker heating pottery that will, stand up to a lot more, but also, not take as long in the kiln. And then
Mhm.
um, her and one of the kiln keepers, Revenal, Dybal, are like in a relationship but not in a relationship. It's very fun. Their chemistry together is very fun. Um, but the whole book centers around this mystery of things at the factory just keep blowing up, essentially. Um, why nobody can figure out, but there's a reason for it, and it all seems to be centered around Maddie and Raven. So it's all about like them trying to figure out why they're getting blown up, why somebody's trying to blow up the factory, and all this inside stuff. And then there's like a subplot with a stalker, and this is my first book that actually has like active triggers.
Mhm. Hmm. That's interesting. Now, with this kind of type of book, with the heat and everything like that, does it stir other ideas for other books along the similar line of this? I know you said you
Um,
weren't gonna this was gonna be a standalone, but
this one's a standalone. No, I haven't really thought of anything past this one. Since it started off as it was only supposed to be like an anthology piece, and I just kind of let it get away from me. Um,
mhm,
I haven't really thought more in this world, mostly because I have other books coming out now. Like I've got the second Reaper book that I'm working on rewrites for, because I now have to rewrite like the entire, like halfway through to the end.
mhm.
So that's fun. And then I have another shifter book that I wrote that is going to come out. That's in the same world as my Finders Keepers shifter book. So
Mm.
I haven't gotten that spark of, ooh, let's do something that's still along those lines.
Mhm.
So not
So
currently.
have so are we looking at releases dates for coming up?
So I'm hoping to have the second Reaper out before the end of this year, but it's tight. I didn't realize how much I needed to rewrite in that book until I recently was reading through it, and reading through my beta comments from those my beta readers, and I was like, oh, if I shift this where it needs to go to make the book more flowy in the beginning, at least, it
Mhm.
completely messes up like the whole end of the book. Like things don't line up correctly. So I would literally I literally have to rewrite like the whole, like halfway through the book to the end. So it's like 35,000 words or more I have to
Uh,
rewrite. So I'm still hoping that might happen. Um I've been in one of those, writing funks where I haven't written
mm,
anything in October,
yeah.
just back to back busy. So
I
the
feel
other
ya.
one is it's called Starlight, and that's my shifter one, my next shifter one. That one, I mean, it's also done. It's going through edits. Like I'm editing it currently, But
Mhm.
that one I'm also hoping to have at least by the beginning of the year. I would like both of them out by Flirty in Kansas City author event, which is in first weekend of February. So that's the goal. The goal is to have at least them both out by then.
Well, you'll get it. You'll get it. But I understand having those stumps. I mean, it just happens. Life either kicks you in the butt, or we just get. If you're anything like me, you'd be like, I'm like a dog, squirrel. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I get. Then I'll get a different storyline in my head, and I want to write something else, and need to go
See, and I
back.
haven't written anything, and I feel like such a horrible author because I've not written one word in like all of October. I had the two back-to-back signings, which the Tennessee one, me and my husband turned into a trip, so we did a trip
Mhm.
out of it. So that was a trip, and then I had that next signing that next weekend, and then last weekend, me and my husband were doing stuff, and my sinuses just decided to go haywire the past couple of days. So it's like every time I think I'm getting ahead to like sit back down and get on the computer and do
Mhm.
some rewrites, something
Mhm.
happens. So,
Oh, girl, you're speaking my language. I still have 5 books that aren't finished, and I just recently got another chapter out a few weeks back, and I told myself I was gonna do it. My husband went on a trip, so he's not here. He's in, Idaho.
okay.
But, I told myself I'm gonna use this time, and here I went moving furniture and doing
No,
all
and
this stuff.
I have the third witches book. I have that
Mhm.
mostly done. I'm like 3 chapters away from finishing it. I'm
Yeah.
currently writing chapter 14, and there's I think 18 total chapters because that my witches series is the only ones I actually plan out
Mhm.
in a sense. Like I have that one a lot more organized because it's
Mhm.
such a big series where the other books it's just kind of like it just happens.
Yeah.
So I've got that
I
book, I've got the shifter book, I have the two other Reaper books. I'm like, man, let's add
You
some
might
more.
just Yeah, you might just be feeling a little bit rushed on it, but to me, it sounds like you've just been busy. It's not a lack of needing or can write, so that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's just busy. It's and then it's like, you sit down at your computer and you're like, all right, let's go. And then all of a sudden you're just like 50 other things pop up you need to do on
Oh,
your computer. And it's like, oh, there
yes.
goes that idea.
Yes.
Like, oh, I gotta, schedule stuff on Canva. I gotta check my author group.
Yes.
I am really lucky.
Yes.
I have a PA now, a new PA. Her name is Sindel. She's fantastic. She
I
took over
see
my
her in the room. I see her in the room. Hello, Sindel.
that's my fabulous PA. She's fantastic. She's been in charge of my author group recently, and she's been doing my newsletter. So I haven't even had to think about those two things, which has been vastly more helpful.
Well, my PA is in the room, literary vixen, that's Laura, and I mean, seriously, without her, we probably wouldn't function at all.
Yeah. She's really good. She's like, "Hey, did you do this?" I'm like, "Nope." She's like, "Yeah, you should probably do that." You're right. I should probably do that. Or I'll message her and I'll be like, "Hey, just so you know, we need to do like ABC." And she's like, "I got it. Don't even worry about it." I'm like, "Awesome. That's awesome."
I know. Oh, I love you too, Laura. She says, "Oh, I love you too." Um, I know because Laura and I were booked for the rest of the year, and we're already starting to book for next year. And I am taken aback by that. Yesterday, I got 8 proposals to be on the podcast, and I think I turned down 3 out of 8 because it was out of my field of, you know what I mean, what I felt comfortable having on the podcast.
Mhm.
And so sometimes it just falls into my lap, and then other times I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like missing the links to get stuff done. So I'm trying to dig myself out of this hole
Well, and I
and get
have I have 2 signings this year. I have the one on the 9th, Lit and Libations, and then I have a very small one on the 17th in Weston, Missouri. But next year, starting, right in February, I have 8 signings.
oh my gosh.
3 of which are like multiple day events, not just one day
Mhm.
events. So, yeah, she's been with me on that because she goes with me for all of my like in town signings. So if it's in Kansas City, she's with me. If it's somewhere far, like when I went to Tennessee, that's ones my husband goes to. So I was like, just so you know, most of these events next year are here.
Nice. So you guys work in the same state together?
She technically lives in the Missouri. I live on the Kansas side. But yeah, she's about an
Okay.
hour away from me, so it's not bad.
Oh, well, Laura's all the way in Arizona, so it's like,
Well, that's a little far.
It is from Ohio, yeah, from Ohio, it's a little far.
A little far, yeah.
It is, but I wouldn't change it for the world. She's probably the best PA I've ever had in my entire life, and trust me, I could give you a long list of people I've had, and yeah, and we've been
It's one of
together
those things,
now.
you know,
She's
you
got
need the PA you click with.
We've been doing this for 4 years now, and I'm really shocked. We've only had, I think, 154 podcasts, and we've been downloaded 3.8K times.
Wow, that's
So,
great.
yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong. I like some bigger numbers, but I could
Hey,
deal
on my
with it.
TikTok, I just get excited if it's over like 300 views. So
Oh, yeah, right? I'm, like, shocked by that too. Like,
I
my
hate TikTok.
I wasn't into it either, but Laura kept pushing me, and she's like, "You need," and she keeps telling me there's other videos I should do, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Can you do them for me?"
Yeah, yeah. It's one of those things, like, it's just one of those things you gotta learn. It's like I have so many other things I need to learn besides it.
Yeah. It's just tedious. There's just a lot of work. But I like I said, I told my husband and I told my mom because my mom lives across the pool from me in her apartment over there. And I was telling them, I'm like, okay, I've got to get my head out of this funk. And so we've doubled down. That's why we're booked for the rest of the year and we're booking up for next. Because I just told myself I need to get my head in the game. I've let too many things, you know what I mean,
Yeah,
overwhelm me the past 2 years. And so I found that it's just better to be busy. You know what I mean? To put
yeah,
myself into the work and because there's some things you just can't control. And so the work you can do. You know what I mean? The work you can do.
yeah.
So Bethany, as always, I love having you on. You're fabulous. And obviously I love having you on because this is the third time.
I love being on, so it works for both of us.
Well, wonderful. Our door is always open. If you call and you say, "Hey, I need to get on there," we'll make some space, okay? You keep that in mind.
It works for
We'll
me.
move some we'll move some things around. Yeah, Laura says, "We love having you on."
Oh, no, I loved my "Hey, do you wanna be on?" Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah, Laura, she sent me a text. She goes, "Hey, I saw that you commented to, Bethany." She goes, "Am I making that happen?" I'm like, "Yeah, get on it."
There you go.
So thank you so much for being on again, Bethany. Like I said, you're a gem. I love having you on. You're delightful. Your books are great. We love hearing from you. And I want to thank our listeners. Guys, until next time, bye bye for now.